following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you could just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need a suit back.
For how long?
Yeah, that's
No, please.
Back over there doing the intro.
This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. Okay?
So Oz, this week we will be discussing the Joker movie, and of course if we're going to discuss a movie we have to have on Movie Man Miggs. But before I get to Miggs, Oz, on our take a knee scale, which starts at the very top with Iris West, and then it goes to an MGK, and then it also goes to a Jar Jar Binks, and then we have The Guardian. Where do you rank it, and how you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day, man. I got a lot happening at work, but it's good. I personally, I will give that definitely an Iris West. I was just talking to a friend of mine, just like saying, because we're both in the film and movie business, and we're just like, man, it's refreshing to see a movie that without the explosions in it, that just had a story, and it's rivaling Marvel movies. And again, it's without all the special effects, explosions, everything. It's good. It's cool. I like it. It was a good story-driven thing. It was a nice descent into madness, man. It was good.
Okay, so an Iris West.
You are not the Flash, Barry.
Yeah. I had some beef with it, so I didn't want to give it an Infinity Gauntlet with the Iris West, and not beef, just little I was like,
no spoilers, no spoilers yet.
Oh, definitely no spoilers, but it was overall, man. I appreciate it. It was well done. It was good.
Okay. And to our special guest, we have on Movie Man Miggs. Miggs, on our scale of top to bottom, what did you think of the Joker, and how are you doing, sir?
What's going on, gentlemen? I'm pretty good. I actually just came from the theater here. Gave myself a little refresher. It almost turned into Slump City, but yeah, it's okay. All right. So Iris West is like a 10, right?
Yeah, like an 8 to 10.
8 to 10. Okay. What's after that? The
MGK.
MGK, and then after that, the least of all is the Jar Jar.
So
MGK is a solid 6.
I would say it's not a MGK, but it's not a Iris West. So it's above an MGK, but it's not Iris West.
So what about an MGK with an Infinity Gauntlet?
I think that's too high.
Wow. MGK with Captain America's shield.
I'm just saying, the Infinity Gauntlet you can't just give that to a 6. That makes a 6 like a 10. That's no good. With Captain America's
he can
shield?
have the gauntlet with no gems in it.
Oh, what's the point of that?
It just gives him an extra harder fist.
That's like a Michael Jackson glove.
but it's iconic though. There was some power in that glove though, right?
Yeah.
Well, and you can also you can give a MGK, which I would never do, but you can give an MGK an Infinity Gauntlet because like people have held the Infinity Gauntlet and they couldn't deal with it. You had the Hulk had a burnt out arm for a whole show, so it just Iris West would be like a Doctor Doom, or being able to maintain it and hold it and stuff. A Reed Richards, a Black Panther kind of thing.
All right. Well, I tell you what. I'll give it a solid 6.5.
Okay. So it's like
maybe even a 7. I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
Right.
But look, Gina in the background talking mess. Look, she over here. She talking mess. She getting on me. She was not a fan. Okay, so look, she didn't get to go to the screening, right? So I took her. We went to see it. We went to see it at IMAX after because we got the AMC A list. She stood up after it was over and just yelled out, "This shit was bunk."
Oh wow!
Shots fired.
Well, what was her? Without giving any spoilers away, pardon me. Without giving spoilers away, what was her issue with some of it?
Oh dear! Why don't you relay tell me so I can tell the audience here. She didn't like it. She didn't know what she was watching. She didn't.
wanted it to be done.
She wanted the movie to be done. Shots fired.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling that runtime. She just she wasn't in it. I mean, I could.
15 minutes was the only part that was like, yay.
Yeah, she was only in it for the last 15 minutes. I mean, I can understand it being kind of slow. I mean, it has that art house feel to it, to where it's a slower movie. You have to kind of be you have to be more involved to where you can't just sit back and just kind of. It's not one of those movies where you just kind of watch it and
Okay. No,
she didn't like.
I get that. Shots fired again. A lot of shots fired. That was a lot of shots fired right there. Like that was a Machine Gun Kelly shots fired.
Yeah, if I put her on here and let her go, you're gonna have to be blinking out stuff because she's about to go off.
All right, so not a fan of the Joker.
It would be spoiler alerts and FCC alerts, everything.
Right. So I'm gonna give it a Iris West, but she's got Henry Cavill's mustache that they CGI'd out from Justice League.
Oh, it's Iris West with a fucking mirror wig. Okay.
Well, see, I was thinking of something worse than the mirror wig, and it's definitely his CGI'd mustache. So it's like it was good, but it's like right below a normal Iris West tier. You know what I mean? Because I enjoyed the movie a lot. I think he did a really good job. It wasn't great, but I did enjoy it a lot. Like there were some aspects that made it really cool to me.
That's what I felt. I didn't feel like the movie itself was like, oh my gosh, but just I did some research into what Phoenix put into it and how he got into the role, and his performance is what is the good part. But even still, though, I just don't think this was some profound, in-depth look at mental illness on that kind of scale. I mean, we're talking about a Batman villain here. We're not.
And I don't want anybody to start. Like, I hope people aren't, starting to say that this is like a journey in the mental illness, because, like, man, that is so disrespectful in mental illness. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's like the Joker. It's just,
but I think a lot of people are. That's what I'm saying. I think I don't know what Todd Phillips' actual intentions are, or how deep he wanted this to go, because I haven't heard or seen anything, like read anything from him. Right. But I've been reading a lot of stuff just from other folks, because I read information after I see the movie because people put spoilers in their stuff, so you can't trust it. So after I see it, then I tend to read things and look at stuff like that, and it's just like a lot of people, like I say, that's their opinion of it. So I'm not gonna say it's right and wrong.
Yeah.
I like I said, I don't know if that was Todd Phillips' intention to some of this stuff that people are saying, like, oh, it was this, and it was so deep into this, and oh, it really talked about this, and it was like, okay, or, you got that out of it, which is cool, but was that what this was, or was it just a different look at the origin of a Batman villain? Was it a more grounded, kind of thing where it wasn't slam bang comic book style action, over the top stuff?
Yeah, and like I wasn't so sure if it was like because for me I was like, cool, part 2 will be the true making of the Joker, because I feel like with this one, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to lead up to like him actually full on becoming, because he's got there's so much more stuff that has to happen to him, like cosmetically and everything. But I want to give a spoiler, but I know I can't. But
not yet. You got to at least set the table. Got to get everything right.
I would just say, go do your thing, because like there's some stuff that I was just like, you could have did this without having to do that, man. It's just an easy target, set the table, man. I'm hungry, dude.
All right, okay, all right. Allow me to set the table. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with my co-host, the comic connoisseur himself, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, good people?
And we have with us the movie man of Defy Life, movie man Miggs. Miggs, how are you doing, big guy?
What's going on, gentlemen? Appreciate y'all having me on again. Always love to be on the show.
You already know. Go ahead and plug anything you want to plug. Plug your Facebook page and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, of course. Y'all know you can catch me on the Defy Life website. Go to defylife.com under Movies with Miggs. Check me out there. I just dropped a double feature review. I saw Countdown and Black and Blue before they came out, and both of those, I think actually they had a couple early showings today for both of those movies, but they officially drop tomorrow, so you can check that out on the website and also on the Facebook page. That's Movies with Miggs. And I got some more stuff coming. I got a couple of screenings. Well, actually, I was supposed to have 2 screenings next week, but they canceled the Jojo Rabbit screening. But I'm still I'm going to see the Terminator Dark Fate early, so I'll have a review out for that. And man, I'm going to a little special screening of Halloween tomorrow up in PA. They're showing the original at a little older theater up there, so me and Gina going to that. That should be a good time, a little revival series. And yeah, man, just getting geared up for the end of the movie season here, man. We only got a couple months. Speaking of, did y'all book your Star Wars tickets?
Nah, I can wait till like that following Monday or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're not going on opening night.
I'm not saying I'm not going, but I'm not gonna. I don't need to get my ticket now.
Oh, okay. I mean, they still some shows are completely booked. Like a lot of the Dolbys were booked, but we got IMAX for that first night. It was the app I was trying to book on was being weird, so I had to actually go on the desktop thing. But they still had plenty of seats. I was actually surprised though, because they said this one broke a lot of records, and I was like, well, there was still stuff open. So I don't know. That's kind of weird, because with Endgame and like Infinity War, the apps were all crashed and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But they said they shattered those records though. So I guess.
I wonder if it was internationally or here, or just like, or if people were just like, screw it, I'm going to the movie theater to like buy my ticket and stuff.
They could have did that too. I guess a lot of people wised up, because those people were
out of the
ticked
paranoia
off
from the other time. Yeah.
those. People were going off with those app crashes.
Oh yeah, they're like, yeah, this ain't happening for me. No, man, I've been waiting for this. Yep. See.
Yeah, true that. And follow him on Facebook. Also follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Need4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. You can email us at Need4Marvel vs. DC at go2fightlifecom. We have 2 emails today, and the return of Steph Blurdy. He is back,
boy.
ladies and gentlemen. He is back, and he's back with a
Blurdy.
vengeance. He's not happy.
It's been a long time.
He's not happy about last week, Oz. He's got a bone
Oh,
to pick
really?
with us. Yeah, he's not happy about last week. We also got an email from one of our favorite podcasts, Black Mass. They sent all 36 of them sent us an email. And
Wait, so like that must have been like when you open it up, it must immediately have like 1,000 emails on there that said Black Mass, Black Mass.
Yeah, it's just it's a whole like Black Mass 1, Black Mass 2, Black Mass 3. So yeah, it's got
Hey,
we got
speaking
all
of bones to pick, I got a bone to pick with y'all too.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go. Look at
man,
this, man.
okay.
Look at this shots fired just from all different angles, like in the email, on our show. Like, what's going on, man? Just
Hey,
shots
look,
fired.
I'm a listener, and y'all, yeah, I was in the gym listening today. I'm a little behind, but yeah, we gonna talk about that. So.
Okay.
Hey, you know what?
I blame regular Scott for all this.
I will take blame until I hear what it actually is. So let's go ahead and figure. Let's clear the air now. Let's get the elephant out of the room. What you got to pick with us, Migs?
All right. Okay. So y'all were talking about the superhero swaps, like swapping like ethnicities and genders and all this other stuff, right? And you, Oz, you my man, but you said Jennifer Lawrence for Storm, and I was about to break my phone.
Wait, did I say Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes, I wanted to throw up. Just the fact that we talking about a white Storm makes me want to vomit in the first place. But then you said Jennifer Lawrence, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why would you? You should have just deflected and not answered the question.
Oh, I promise you. During that whole, I'll Migs, let me help you. Let me help. I want to make sure because man, I gotta keep you in my good graces. Let me clear the air for you.
Oh,
not Black Mass, not Steph Blurdy, but for Movie Migs. If I said that, it was probably because I was so pissed off at Regular Scott. I was over it. I was saying that to be an asshole and ironic, never to be for real, dude. I promise you that much.
Hey, look, I'm gonna give you that one because y'all was going off on each other.
Man, yeah, dude. Hey, man, this guy, man, I was ready. I was literally ready just to cut my feed and be like, I'm done.
Hey, look, hey, Scott kept doing the shots fired thing, and then you was like, yo, this dude is annoying.
Yeah, dude. Hey, yo, Migs, there was like 5 minutes of me being silent because I was pouting, dude. Yeah, man.
Hey, Migs, I had this dude pouting in the corner.
Hey, look,
man.
I could tell it was I was dying, but that part I was like, yo, ugh. And then and then Tiffany Haddish for Jean Grey, what?
Hey,
yeah, dude.
Oz,
Yes,
you had some castings there, huh?
No. That was purely me being pissed at you. Just saying, I don't give a anything about that, dude.
I'll give him that because I could hear it in his voice. So I
would have said Sherman Herman. I would say Sherman Hellsman for Professor X, dude. That's how I was feeling, dude. That's how I was feeling. You know?
Yeah. That's
yeah.
That is funny. All right, let's get into some.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Let's get into some dude. Oh, Oz, just wait until you hear the email then, if you like that. Wait until you hear what Steph Blurdy had to say.
I'm out, dude. That's good. I literally need to get another beer. Okay, all right.
All right, well, you can get that when we take our commercial break.
Okay, it's fine. I'm going to get 3. It's
okay,
fine.
Good. Do either of you guys play the Batman video games?
Nope.
Like any of the Arkham games?
I have played on Xbox the latest and I played an old Batman that was super dope back in the day. That was taken off of like the style was kind of like in the old Batman, the animated series.
I just wanted to know if you've ever played it.
Hey, so you think you're going to ask me a question and get like yes?
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. That's on me. My bad.
I'm a retired gamer. My jersey has been hanging in the rafters. Although
you don't play like no 2K or Madden or nothing.
I don't have any new consoles. We got the PS4, but that's for the TV applications and stuff, and for watching Blu-rays and whatnot. Gina plays games, but I mean, like, I bust out the Dreamcast every once in a while, or even the Nintendo 64. But
yeah,
man, I don't have any newer systems like that I play. I just got a lot, man. I mean, I got a stack of comic books. I am behind, like, collectively, 100 issues. So you want to talk about? Yeah, I don't got time for.
It makes you're watching movies all the time. You have no time for video games.
I mean, and not even that too. You know, I really, really want to read my comic books, and I wouldn't mind playing some video games here and there. Like I got gifted one of those console machines with Street Fighter. So once I hook that up, I'll play that. But just stuff on consoles, man. I don't know. I just kind of fell off with video games. And I just never really picked it back up. Except if, like old school stuff, we go to the little, I don't know if y'all heard of the music and gaming festival. We go to that, but yeah, man, I just you guys, I know everybody gets into the stuff now. The games look cool, like especially the sports games. I mean, just like the graphics and just how realistic it looks now. It looks cool, and I appreciate it. I just not into it, man.
Migs, sorry about this. Hey, Regular Scott, we apologize. Why did you ask us that question?
Sorry. I just took you on a tangent too. Sorry.
Hey, Migs, he knew what he was getting himself into when he put both of us on this show today.
I'm sorry.
He knew.
I had to explain myself because every time I tell people, like I think people assume that I play video games just because I'm into all the other stuff. So then when I say I don't, they get all shocked. So I'm already ready to explain stuff, I guess.
It's almost like when you're like,
keep explaining. You go ahead. You keep it. You're doing fine.
No, yeah, definitely. Because it's almost like when someone thinks you're like a nerd, they expect you to have like the full nerd package. Like you like comics, you play video games.
Like not everything. Yeah,
right.
You can't be into everything. I mean, look, I have my niches in the nerd genre, the things that I like, but it's so much you can't be into everything like that. I mean, especially with, you have other things that you have to do. It's like, look, if I was just a dude, just me, then okay, yeah, I'd probably be into more stuff, but
True that. I say all that because
like other things.
I say all that because the next Batman game is rumored to be called. Well, actually, it is going to be called Arkham Legacy. And the rumor is you're going to be able to play as the entire Bat family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
How extensive that's going to be is interesting. So that means you'll get to play as Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Barbara Gordon, hopefully Cassandra
Alfred. I want to play as Alfred.
I bet you probably could. I bet you he'll be an unlockable character. He'll probably be nasty.
Yeah,
so do all those... because I know about those games. Do all those games kind of like follow kind of like a story thing, like the whole Arkham series and all that stuff?
Yeah, they all kind of have they all kind of have a streamlined storyline.
Okay,
it's all set in the same universe. They're pretty good games. They have good stories. They're some of the better stories.
I mean, I've played the Arkham game, like just kind of play like a demo and stuff.
Right.
And I've seen some of the stuff. It looks pretty cool. And then I think there was one. I remember I guess there was one that came out a few years ago because I remember they making a big deal about it because it was rated M this time and the other ones weren't.
Injustice.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Injustice was another big one. It wasn't like a Batman. It was more of a entire DC type game, but it was the one where Superman goes crazy.
No, I thought, I remember that, but I thought there was a Batman game that was rated M.
Yeah, there's like was it Arkham Knight or
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
one of
maybe the
those
last
was rated
one was.
M.
Yeah,
or
yeah, right,
Assault on
right.
Arkham or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Arkham
yeah
Knight,
because it was
Arkham
pretty
Knight.
gory, dude.
Yeah, because the other ones aren't rated M, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay,
Arkham
yeah,
Knight.
yeah. So I remember that when that came out because they were making a big deal about that. But yeah, I mean the graphics look cool. And doesn't Conroy, doesn't he do the voice?
Oh,
Was
interesting.
he was doing the voice on a couple of those, right? Him and Hamill. Didn't they do the voices?
That's a good question.
Scott, no knowledge, huh?
Hey, I got nothing for you on that one. Not even
Well,
gonna throw-
Gina's saying, yeah, I thought they did because I
right,
remember
well,
I
I'll
kind
take
of remember some promotions they have. If you go back and watch some of the if you watch some of the old DC features, the Batman movies, they have some of that stuff on there. So
Well, I don't want to give out any. I don't want to say I do know because I don't know, so I'm not sure.
All right.
Oz want me to
I had
just
a
throw
good
an
time.
answer out there just to put my.
Well, Gina says yeah, so we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
If Gina said yes, I believe it too. But I used to have fun playing them, man, because they were just you get into the mode of being Batman, you know. So it was a nice little treat. Now, if the new game doesn't come out on the Switch, I don't care.
It's probably not going to come out on the Switch.
It's probably
Then
not.
I could care less about it.
So moving on to the Marvel universe, they apparently they want Jeremy Renner is someone that the people want to be recast in the upcoming Hawkeye series. Oz,
As in they don't want him in it.
well, like the rumor
He's
is
got
that
some
the-
drama going on right
the
now.
rumor is that since he apparently threatened to kill his wife, that
Oh Jesus!
the rumor is that the studio is kind of looking to replace him in the MCU.
Yeah, see, and it's so weird though because so I read some different stories about that, and right now it's he said she said because he's saying that she is off her rocks and just kind of saying stuff, and she's saying that when this dude gets loaded, he starts saying crazy stuff, but he even says crazy stuff sometimes, and like I guess like saying it. I guess trying to say it in jest.
Yeah,
it's still like not funny, that kind of stuff. So it's okay. So who's lying here? You know, is there truth to both? Is there not?
Dude.
It's weird. You know,
dude, this guy just got his family back after not having them for 5 years, and now he want to treat his wife like that? That's crazy.
You're stupid.
Man, that's ridiculous, dude.
No, but that's weird though. They're already considering that just based off of hearsay.
Oh
stuff.
no, they do. It is all damage control. They want to make sure they want to be ahead of the story before Weinstein gets involved or something stupid, dude. It's all damage control, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I mean, I would hope that a person wouldn't do that, but I mean, if you're saying that kind of stuff to your wife, then you're a freaking scumbag. So,
well, can I also bring up another point of all this? I mean, aside from like replacing them, just on a basic level, dude, both y'all need to seek some treatment if this has happened because you're both millionaires. You know, you have no woes. What is wrong? Why would you create woes in your life like that?
Hey, look, a lot of these celebrities got issues. I'm not saying I know if they do or not, but look, at the end of the day, they human too, and humans are jacked up. So I mean, like I said, I don't know the stuff I read. Like I said, I would hope dude wouldn't be saying that to his wife. That's pretty jacked up if he did. So I mean, if that's the consequences of it, we getting a new Hawkeye. I guess we getting a new Hawkeye. I don't know.
Good, Kate Bishop, step up, get your thing on, get your tights on, dude. Come on, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do. I think this is a big, like, this is going to end up being a big kind of decision whether they pull the trigger on it or not. Like, this could have big ramifications as far as if they keep him and these allegations turn out to be true. Like, that's not going to be a good look. But if they drop him and they turn out to not be true, you know, it's almost like they're kind of in a between a rock and a hard place right now. I almost feel like they should just kind of see what, like, you almost have to wait until something is proven true.
I mean, because if it is true, then they'll just let them go there.
Yeah, you just got to cut
and you would expect that anyway.
But
as opposed to
you got to let it play out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they'll just be like, okay, we're just gonna part ways now. I mean, if they did, though, it'd be kind of surprising, but not really, because like you said, damage control, And these companies like that, they gotta maintain whatever image they think they have, and even though it's just kind of like, all right. So I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, and not even on a, you're losing your jobs and you're getting bad publicity and stuff like that, dude. That's your wife. What the hell's wrong with you? If you are saying stuff like that, yeah, you got some problems. You need to go to therapy, or somebody need to knock you upside the head or something. Because
it just always goes, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I always put it baseline and just go back to, like, who are you to say that to another person? You know?
Man. I mean, it's crazy. Just like, and just even more so that you're like your wife. Like, you just see stuff like that, and just talking to somebody like that. That's always like the first thing. It's like, oh, you're talking crazy. Next thing you know, you want to be hitting people upside the head and stuff like that. And it's just like, dang, like I said, I would hope that you wouldn't, because people do lie. But hey, like I said, I don't know. It's he said versus she said, because that's all it is. But I read another thing too, and I guess their maid says, yeah, that the dude be saying some jacked up stuff. So
okay, well there you go. Okay.
I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. That'll be. We'll just, like I said, we'll have to let that play out and see what happens. If it does come like that, that's on you. I'm not gonna cry if they recast another Hawkeye. That'll just be that.
Yep. So we got those 2 emails, and they have kind of questions that go with them, and we also want to get into the Joker. So that's all we're gonna have for the news. Let's get into the emails, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm excited about these emails.
Well, why are you excited about it?
Yo, Steph Blurdy about to go off on you, yo.
Yeah, should I start with Steph Blurdy or Black Man?
Yeah, you would go.
Yeah, I gotta hear this, because I ain't heard y'all read no email from him in a while. He be having the lengthy emails.
Start with Steph Blurdy, because obviously he's not saying anything bad about you. So it's a welcome change.
No, I didn't say that. He actually, of course, he takes a shot at me. That's what he does.
Thank you, Steph Blurdy. I appreciate that.
What if? But you know what I've been thinking? What if it's a girl? What if it's short for Stephanie?
I've never said it was he or she. It's you. You're the one.
You just said he.
No, you're the one that's gender shaming people, dude. I ain't got time for that, dude.
I didn't gender shame.
I don't have time for it. Hey, Steph Blurdy, as long as you keep. Here's the thing. Only thing I need from you, Steph Blurdy, keep coming at regular Scott. That's all I need. Everything. Hey, come less at me. Come more at regular Scott. We're fine, dude. Everything's great.
Look, and I could be wrong here, but just based on the language and the stuff that y'all read from the email, I'm gonna assume that that's a guy. I mean, not saying that a woman doesn't talk like that, but I'm just assuming that that's a guy just because of some of the stuff, especially like the ending. What is it? Stay blurty, or whatever they say.
Stay nerdy, my
brother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that just makes me feel like it's a guy. But if it's not, I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's probably a dude, but like people like hear regular Scott and they're like, "Is that a girl? Is that a woman? Is that a man?" I mean, it's fine, dude. It's fine.
All right. Let me read the email. All right. Let me read the email. All right. So, hey guys. So you forgot a few great movies on your last episode, but somehow didn't forget to talk about wrestling for 20 minutes. And look, Oz, that's on you. That's on you. Oh God. So you forgot Leprechaun, Tales from the Hood, and It.
Yeah.
I don't really consider Leprechaun. Leprechaun is a classic, but it is what it is.
Leprechaun is not classic.
Well, you can split the difference and say Leprechaun in the Hood. That terrible ass movie.
It's iconic though. Like everyone knows. Everyone knows what Leprechaun is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Everybody knows what Leprechaun is.
Hey, did we mention Pet Sematary?
I don't think so.
See, I didn't listen to that episode yet, but that I'm gonna get to that probably tomorrow. But
Yeah, we
You know,
forgot a
Pet
lot.
Cemetery is a weird movie.
Oh yeah.
We forgot
The
a
original
lot.
one, you know, I watched that because I didn't remember it, so I watched that when that remake came out, and that's just his movies in the '80s are just very odd.
Yeah, the Stand, that miniseries that still freaked me out.
Let me finish Steph Blurdy's email, dude.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
All right. Here you go. Look, you should be getting excited because here it comes. I also have an idea for a good DC horror movie. You ready for this one, Oz?
I'm ready.
Batman dies, and Nightwing has to become Gotham's protector. Then 10 days later, Gotham is destroyed. LOL. Dick Grayson ever taking the mantle of Batman is a quote-unquote horror bull idea. Once a sidekick, always a sidekick. Steph Blurdy, shots fired.
Man, so dude, hey, that was at you. That was
definitely at Scott.
I never said it was at you. I just wanted to get you all paranoid and worked up.
Hey, nah, because like as usual, Steph Blurdy comes through with the truth, dude.
Wow.
No, well, hey, I will say this, man. If that happened, Steph Blurdy, he would go to Bloodhaven. And they'd be like, "Damn, why is Batman in Bloodhaven? Because Gotham's all blown up." But the only saving grace for Dick Grayson, regular Scott, you know, I love you and respect you, is Titans. So that's all I could say.
Well, I can say this: Dick Grayson's never had his city destroyed.
Dude, he's never had a city.
He's got Bloodhaven.
Dude, he was given Bloodhaven by Batman.
But
he was
he's never had it destroyed.
Man, dude,
am I wrong?
It's like someone stealing your wallet, and then you're like, "I never had my wallet stolen." It's like, "You never had a wallet, dude. I'm giving him a chump change every time, dude."
What do you mean? No, that is not the same thing. Batman has had Gotham destroyed on multiple occasions. It ain't never happened to Bloodhaven.
Well, may I say this to you? Okay. The reason why Batman has had Gotham destroyed multiple times and had these pillar of villains is because you got to be a top-notch dude to have these top-notch villains. Dick Grayson, he had
come on, man, you ain't got to come at my boy like that, though.
He had Blockbuster, dude. He had Blockbuster in Bloodhaven, and that's his worst that he had to deal with.
Blockbuster's solid, though. Blockbuster's solid,
dude. There's no Blockbuster in the United States anymore. That would tell you what kind of villain he is, dude. Come on.
What about Midnighter? Midnighter's dope.
Midnighter, who's the Midnighter? See, that's something. Oh man, the Batman ripoff
with the computer in his mind.
Dude, hey, Batman and Apollo, we get you Superman. Midnighter and Apollo, we get you Batman and Superman in a gay relationship. Understood. Got you.
All right. Moving on to the next email. Hey, by the way, thank you. I appreciate you, Steph Blurdy.
Always, Steph Blurdy. Keep them emails coming, dude.
Shots fired from Steph Blurdy again. Oh, and you two just eating it up, huh? This is great.
Hey,
just eating it up.
Hey, I just appreciate when a fine intellectual like Steph Blurdy comes with the truth. That's
all right.
All the Dick Grayson hate.
I know, man. I know. All right, this next one is from our buddies at Black Mask, all 45 of them, but only 28 of them replied on this email. So it goes. Shout out to Black Mask, by the way. It goes, hey guys. So in the last episode, you missed one of the best horror movies. It is a classic horror movie. I can't believe we didn't say
true.
it.
It's true. I know we didn't. We didn't.
It is a classic horror movie that does not get the credit that it deserves. Pennywise is a classic and mysterious villain that can spar with the likes of Jason and Freddy. I disagree with that because Freddy would definitely be able to make fun of Pennywise to shrink him into a little child. But that's a whole other subject.
You think so, dude?
Oh, Freddy would have a field day with Pennywise.
Okay.
I think Freddy would trash talk Pennywise into oblivion. What? Freddy would have a field day with him.
Okay.
Miggs, what's your viewpoint on that? How do you think Freddy would do against Pennywise?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know because it's it's weird because they both are that have that characteristic of they draw off of fear. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just talking who's more sick and demented, then I would go with Freddy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, but I don't know how that would work actually.
But see,
I mean, if
I
you just
see it playing out kind of like once Freddy figured out that like what he needed to do, I think he would be able to kind of like really drive it home. You know what I mean? I think he's smarter than Pennywise.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's like Pennywise more torments anyway because all of them, you know, he didn't really kill.
That's why I think that's why he went after kids first.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so he just kind of tormented them because like the main kids they were all there still. Like
Right.
Days in freaking Nightmare on Elm Street, them kids don't grow up to be adults.
The superhero kids certainly did not grow up to be adults.
Yeah, I mean he got all of them. He pretty much got everybody.
Yeah, the only
a
person
few people that actually survived.
Yeah, the only person that kind of survived was Johnny Depp, and I mean that was just because he had a better career afterwards. So.
True that. Also, we at Black Mass collectively find it funny that LeBron is criticized. This is going to your LeBron question that you asked. LeBron is criticized for being a scapegoat for basically saying that Daryl Morey, Houston Rockets general manager, needs to mind his business, which he does. We also find it funny that when Botham Jean was killed in his home, is that how you say his name? Botham? Jean? What is it? Botham. Was killed in his home by a drunk police officer in Dallas, Texas. Daryl Morey didn't say one word about the incident, even though it's in his home state of Texas. I wonder why. We need to fix our country before we get involved with any other country's politics. It is true that injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere, but when will the deaths of our people be seen as something that we need to fight for? Just saying.
That's true. It is a very listen, Black Mass, all of you, all 477 of you. Look, man, what y'all said is poignant,
absolutely
brilliant, and truthful as usual. And you have every right to call him out for not speaking about something on his home turf. As if everybody wants to start think globally, act locally, you know. But I will say this in response to that. You have the right, because of where we live, to speak out about anything you want to, really. You know, he chose to say something about Hong Kong, China, you know, because it involved China too. And then LeBron got involved in it too, you know. But then, you know, if we want to pull that car with that cat, it was Daryl Morey. Or if we want to pull that car with that cat, we got to start pulling that car with every cat, you know. Why are there millionaires that aren't funneling money this way? Why are there we can start doing that. This dude took it upon himself to say one little fucking tweet, and it blew up. I think it's larger repercussions about how a big-ass entity that is China can control other things and corporate things that influence us. That's the bigger thing to me. You know, but what you said, guys, all is legit and truthful for sure. For sure. And respect due.
Okay. And then also 2 quick questions. Have you read the this is all in Black Mass email, by the way, so I'm sure there's a few of them giving different questions. Have you read the comic series 1602 or 1872 by Marvel, and which do you think is better? I have not read it. Miggs,
yes.
Have you read it?
No, I have not.
I've read both.
Which one is better?
I read both, and I will tell you, just on a personal standpoint, I feel like 1602 is a lot better for me. I get the premise. Like 1602 felt like an Elseworld to me. 1872 was, this is spoiler alert, was part of that whole battle world thing. And that kind of like, I was like, I get you. But 1602 felt like It reminded me of the old X-Men comic where Katie Pryde is telling a fairy tale to Lockheed, and it incorporates all the X-Men in this kind of weird, like, fairy tale kind of thing. So it reminded me of that. I like 1602 better.
Okay.
I'd love to hear. Hey, send an email back, guys. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that too.
Okay. And they have one more question that I'm going to save for after the break, actually. And so I'm going to read the rest of the email, and then we'll come back to the question, okay? And sorry for the Uncle Oz rant. We are all big fans of the show. You both have a great platform. That's why any misconceptions that we hear, we feel that it is our duty to let you know. Always remember that with great power comes great responsibilities. Achilles, A-Train, Cleezus, Hush Money, Jim Gaines, Jordy Shorty, Lone Creative, Pipe Man the Hype Man, Prince Aji, Smooty, Suave the Thinker, and Sid the Kid. Black Mass.
Black Mass. That was, yes, thank you. Uncle Ben will be very proud. That is very true. With great power comes great responsibility. That was very dope.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then instead of our normal one's gotta go, even though actually I do have a one's gotta go, we might do that too. We'll see how the time restraints go. But I really like the question that Black Mass sent, so we'll read that after the break, and we'll be right back.
And in honor of that, I'm having one beer for every member of Black Mass
before we come back during the break. Make sure you hear what Oz sounds like after that many beers in a minute. Here we go.
Yo, what up, my people? This is J.R. Glent from Defy Life. If you're looking for an in-depth, honest, at times hilarious conversation on anything from current events to sports to entertainment and more, check out myself, Alvin, Thomas, Gerald, and Yosh on the Defy Life podcast. Dropping every Wednesday, available at GoDefyLife.com and everywhere your favorite podcasts are available. And as always, if you're not rocking with Defy Life, what's your life about?
And we are back. Make sure you are checking out the Defy Life podcast. And I just want to say, for example, Green Arrow and Hawkeye, or Black Panther, Bronze Tiger. Can you name four of your favorite derivatives and why? And I sent these out to Miggs and Oz as well earlier today to kind of, think about and figure out as well. So do y'all want to just give all four at once, or should we kind of go one at a time and see how it goes?
I don't know. Let's do one at a time.
Okay. Let's start with Miggs. You first.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have four, but I got a couple of examples.
Okay.
So this one I didn't even know this was a Marvel's rip on a DC character. When I was first introduced to Deadpool, I thought Deadpool was a rip on freaking Spider-Man. The whole time. I didn't even know anything about Deathstroke until way later. So that was, and then finding that out was just hilarious because I don't really read a lot of DC comics. Like I have a few graphic novels and some single issues here and there, but I grew up reading Marvel all the time. So I mean, I knew who Batman was obviously, but the animated series didn't have Deathstroke or anything like that in it. So I didn't find that out till later who he was. And then when I seen his name, I was like, what in the world? I was like, hold up. I was like, that sound. Then I looked it up and I was like, oh, they copy that. And I was like, okay. And then so like they talk about that in the Teen Titans Go movie, which is hilarious. But so yeah, that was one of mine. Like I said, I thought Deadpool was a Spider-Man rip, but end up he's a Deathstroke rip.
Oh, he's a hardcore, just straight up unapologetic Slade Wilson Deathstroke
Yeah.
Goes into Deadpool Wade Wilson.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah, it makes. I love that. That's definitely one of mine. I think that I had some. Let's see. Another one would probably be. Let's see. Oh well, I always just like it was always bizarre and silly to me, like Aquaman versus Submariner, Arthur Curry versus Namor. Like they were basically the same person, and it's just so weird because like Arthur Curry is like King of Atlantis, Namor King of Atlantis. I was like, both your Atlantises are. Is just always a weird twist on the thing to me. Those two were.
Okay. Mine, I'm going to go with the obvious one, Green Arrow and Hawkeye. You know, clearly they're both archers. They're both pretty much the same character. They're the same character in the Justice, like when they're in their groups. They're the same person.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like Green Arrow more, though. I would choose Oliver Queen over Hawkeye all day. No question.
So wait, so do you like Oliver Queen TV Oliver Queen or Oliver Queen comic book Oliver Queen?
So it's funny you bring that up. So when I've talked about one of my favorite comic book kind of storylines that really got me into it, that actually you Oz got me into, was the Legend of the Monkey Fist, I believe it's called, or Legend of the Iron Monkey, about Lady Shiva and Connor Hawke as Green Arrow. So that was the actual first incarnation of Green Arrow I ever really got into, was Connor Hawke. And that kind of got me into it. Then as I got older, you know, obviously I'm a big fan of Arrow. So that grew on me. Then I started reading some of the older comics, and I think I'm more of I think I like the character Oliver Queen from like the TV more.
I know. Yeah,
you know
that's
fine.
fine.
Yeah. But I think that's that you brought that up. And now that I kind of think about it, yeah, that's probably more so why I'm more of an Oliver Queen guy.
Well, he's went through a lot of transitions too, because like there was Green Arrow, who was kind of like very Robin Hoodish, kind of like, you know, Green Arrow was basically, so he's a rip on Hawkeye's a rip on him, but Green Arrow was a rip on Batman.
Yep.
And Sidekick and everything, and it's kind of hard. You would have to like the TV guy, because it's kind of hard to take the comic book guy seriously when he's going to get a bad guy with a boxing glove attached to an arrow, you know? So
to be fair, though, they do a good job with him on like Justice League, like the animated series.
Oh, look, but they did a good job with him because they revamped him and said, no more boxing glove, no more trick arrows.
He had a few trick arrows.
Well, no, hold on. There was a whole storyline where they did away with all, in the comics, where they did away with all of his trick arrows and said, get back to basics. And he just had Arrow, and he was Green Arrow, like taking fools out, and like, you know, like on a kind of like on a Hawkeye tip kind of thing. And from there, we got the Green Arrow. They had kind of like some basic tricks, you know. So,
all right, then back to Migs.
I don't know who copied who here, but the Dark Side and Thanos, because I like both of those guys. They're kind of, you know, I want to say that Marvel copied DC on that one, but I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right about that, because it feels like that was a fourth world, New Gods, Jack Kirby kind of thing with that. You know,
I mean, I'd have to look. I mean, I'm a Thanos fan. I've been a Thanos fan for a while, but I like Darkseid. I like his I like him in some of the features that he's been in. He's just one of those bad guys. It's just like, yeah, it's like you know that he can do some stuff, but at the same time, he's smart too. He's like calculating, so it's like that makes it. I like stuff like that. Those complex villains, because it's like this dude will choke you out, but he's about to be putting some master plans together too, man.
Well, the thing about both of them is just that they can both like you both get the feeling that they can like kill you, hurt you, they choke you out, hurt you, but they're thinking of so many other ways that they can hurt you too. You know, like Darkseid to me, when I was a little kid growing up, that dude came to me from DC out of the Legion of Superheroes. That was the first time I ever heard of that dude, and he was just like. I used to get so freaked out because he controlled planets and people. The Legionnaires were getting fucked up by this dude. I was like, who is this guy, man? You know. And then Thanos came along with the Infinity Gauntlet. But yeah, those two are, and they both have this obsession with like love and the anti-life equation and that kind of. I mean, sorry, with death and the anti-life equation. You know.
Yeah, man, they're pretty. Yeah, I mean, I like the. What is it? The Batman, Superman. What was it? Apocalypse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just watched that Migs like about a week ago.
Yeah,
with,
man.
With my kids.
That was pretty tough. And I love that. I love that standoff with him and Batman. That was like one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah. Yes. That was.
Just the fact that he just like that Darkseid even like acknowledged that and was like he actually liked what Batman did, and I was like, wow. I remember like the first time I seen it, I was like, yo, like this is crazy.
Yeah, because he said, oh, humans, you guys might have some potential, you know,
right? He's like, y'all are jacked up, and I like that.
Yeah, because you could tell he was just like, I could just like literally take my pinky and do away with you. He goes, yes, we have a deal. Get off my planet. Because he knew Batman was going to be for real. But then he was like, yeah, Batman, but you know I'm coming back to your planet because I don't make deals, dude. Right. Yeah, that was a good one, dude. That was good. Yeah. That was a good one. Which again, we'll say once again, man, DC with their animated movie game, dude. You know?
Yeah, and they've definitely most of their stuff's been pretty good. They put out they put out a couple of duds and some ones that were kind of off, but I would say 85% of their catalog is pretty good. And there's even some ones that are really, really good.
Oz.
I would go with. All right, this is a blatant ripoff right here. Batman and Nighthawk. Nighthawk was a Marvel character. He like leader of the Defenders. Then they just like that guy, dude. He was like had a cape like Batman, had toys like Batman, rich billionaire like Batman. It was just like they basically Marvel basically said we don't care, you know. Yeah. They could have called that dude Bruce Bane, and you know, but so yeah, it's just blatant ripoff of that of a character.
He looked cool though.
Yeah, but you know he had 2 points on his
little claws.
On his cape.
He had the little claws here.
Yeah, dude, it's so tight. And so Migs, for a while, I was a huge Defender comic book person, like Valkyrie. All like Hellcat, the Son of Satan, all those guys. I was just like fascinated by all those guys. So.
I think I have a couple of issues of Nighthawk, just like somewhere, just because I thought he looked cool. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, I'm going to. So you gotta hear me out on this one. This one might be a little bit of a stretch.
I can't wait. Wait.
Yeah, that's a great disclaimer.
Right, you gotta hear me out on this one. You gotta hear me out. So peep game, right?
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait.
Red Hood and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Now,
I wouldn't say those are rip-offs, but they have very similar paths.
You know,
so I mean, maybe you can say they're rip-offs. I don't know.
So they're both sidekicks.
Explain yourself.
They're both sidekicks. Okay, they were both supposedly killed. Well, one of them was killed and brought back, but you know they were both presumed dead and brought back to life. as killer assassins. They both end up turning a new leaf, becoming good guys. I think they're very derivative of each other, and I'm sticking with it.
No,
I think, like I said, I think those characters have similar paths. I wouldn't say they're necessarily blatant ripoffs like some of the other ones, because some of those other ones are just straight up blatant ripoffs. I wouldn't say that these were, and just because I think, when you compare the two, I think there's more of a. I think Bucky has more story to him, but
no, keep going, make sure you, because I think what you said.
Well, maybe he doesn't. Because whatchamacallit too. We know his story too. He we know his story as we know his story when he was one as a Robin before he got turned into the Red Hood. So I guess so.
No, but I like what you said earlier, that it's not a blatant ripoff. It's more like they have like they have similar timelines.
The stories are the stories are
they're derivative of each other.
Yeah.
Well, they have they're
derivative of each other.
Do yes, but they're living parallel lives. Yes.
I know, but why can't you just let it be? Why you got to change the wording of it?
Dude, Steph Blurdy.
You can't just let it be.
Steph Blurdy and Black Mass.
That wasn't from
send an email. We'll be waiting for your email next. We'll be waiting for your email. Okay.
Well, I tell you what's different. I guess thinking about it, because didn't well, I guess that kind of. Bucky did more stuff because he was brainwashed. Like, I know whatchamacallit, he gets messed up, but
right,
he was,
the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, but even after that, it didn't mess him up to the point to where he didn't know what he was doing. The dude was pretty cold and calculating. So,
and he also said, "I wanted to get revenge on the Joker too."
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a difference there. Like I said, after the Lazarus Pit, even though he kind of flipped out, he still controlled it and turned it into, all right, look, I'm about to be Batman that gets rid of folks. So
yeah,
I think that was kind of a difference. But like I said, you're still, like you said, they still have the same stories when you really break it down and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
True that. It's not like a Wasp or Bumblebee type thing or Black Cat, Catwoman type deal, but
Yeah, because if you want to talk, I have another one. But before I say that one, I'll give you an easy one that's a rip-off of each other.
Why don't you let Banks go before you skip it?
Well, geez. Okay, well, fine. If we got to be all polite and everything, fine.
Yeah, dude.
Let me think of a good one. Oh, here's a good one. Superman and Gladiator.
That's good.
Even though Gladiator fluctuates between being a good guy and a bad guy, but that is definitely a Superman rip.
Oh, for sure, and Superman an icon. Superman's been ripped off a lot.
Style, just the way they drew him, the way he flies, all that stuff. The fact, even the whole thing about the the Praetorian
Imperial Guard.
That was from like Roman times, but that's still a Superman rip.
Oh yeah, and that's their sheer Justice League and stuff too. He is a blatant ripoff minus the mohawk. So
All right, Oz, what's yours?
I have one that just popped into my head. Deadshot, Bullseye. I feel like Bullseye came first, and they're just blatant, marksmen. They never missed a shot. it's just like it's like so much. Just like okay, I get it, guys. You know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna get to 4 because I don't know. Do you have more favorites, or are we kind of past like our favorites, or we got more so just kind of at the point?
I have one that's my personal favorite. Not to be rude.
Well, I mean, you have been, but it's okay.
But I am rude. I would say Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. Is that not okay?
Yeah. Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly is pretty good. I give you that. Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly is pretty good.
That is a blatant ripoff, but anyway, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay.
All love.
Not Marvel DC, but what do you think about this? Homelander and Superman.
Oh yeah. And you got Icon in Superman, and you got Irredeemable in Superman. Superman's been ripped off a lot.
Yeah. So what about like you could also throw a Logic in there too. We could just throw all the white rappers in there. I think Logic's like mixed or something. So.
I will say any white rapper.
Think about this one. I'm gonna just throw this one out for the last one. How derivative do you think these are of each other? The Green Lantern Corps and the Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps is not a ripoff of the Green Lantern. They're a ripoff of the Guardian of those the man. What were they called? The Manhunters or whatever. Before the Green Lanterns, I was like, man, dude. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but
Marvel takes a lot. They've been taking a lot. So.
I mean, they both jack from each other because you got people that started at DC first and went to Marvel. You got people that were Marvel that went to DC, then they go to other places. You know, they jump here, they jump there. So you'll see similar drawing styles in DC and then in Marvel because it's the same artist. It's all I mean, it's kind of a small world when it comes to like kind of prominent stuff, and then you start seeing names of different people. We go here, we go here, or even the folks that they kind of want to do their own thing and they go over like to Image or something like that. But I think Vertigo. DC owns Vertigo, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, even some of that stuff, you see different, different people's work across different brands. So
yeah, and you could say it's a ripoff, or you could say it's a homage or whatever. But like even with Hardware ripping off on Iron Man, so it's fine. We do it. People, it's okay.
I mean, there's not really a lot of original, like pure 100% original characters just coming out the woodworks right now. I mean, look at a lot of stuff that they still got characters that we grew up with when it's like in actuality, wouldn't these people be old? No, not really, because we've just rewritten the story a few jillion times. So hey,
right.
It's okay.
Yeah, Batman and Superman, I can get him being an alien, but Batman should be like, yeah, I'm like, dude, you should be on some Batman Beyond stuff right now. So,
yeah, I mean, there's so many different comics out for different stuff, especially like the main folks. I mean, I know there's at least 3 or 4 different Batman comics out that have different writers and artists. There's a few different Supermans. I mean, you got all this X-Men stuff. You got different Spider-Man stories. So it's just, it just depends on whose story is going to capture people and who's got that good artwork too.
True that.
True.
All right. That's it for that. Appreciate Black Mass, that email. That was great questions. And,
that was very cool.
So if you want your email read, whether it's a question you want us to answer or whether you just want to take a shot at myself or my guy Dick Grayson. Shots fired again from Steph Blurry.
Yeah, if you definitely want to take a shot at regular Scott, please send more emails.
At Knee4Marvel vs. DC at GoToFireLife.com, or you can leave us a comment on Twitter at Knee4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. All right. Spoiler alert. Do a couple more of those because the rest of this conversation is going to be just fully spoilers about the Joker. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if we've given it a few weeks, so if you haven't seen it yet, you're probably not going to see it, I'm assuming at this point. If you have seen it, we're just going to jump around, talk about just some key moments, some of our favorite parts, different things like that. Oz, I'm going to actually start with you. What is...
Wow. Wow. I am speechless. I don't know what to say. I nearly spit up my beer. What is going on here? Is it Christmas already? What is going on?
Oh, man. Migs, let's start with you. What was your what were some of your favorite parts of the movie?
Oh man, wow. I mean, I appreciated Phoenix's performance and what he did to get into the role. You know, the amount of weight he lost. I mean, that dude was extra skinny. You know, he said he studied. He was studying like serial killers and mass murders and stuff just to get into a different mind frame, which is just nuts in itself. But like I said, I can appreciate that level to get into the character. So, you know, that was cool to see. I think if I had to pick a favorite part, I like the end where he's on top of the smashed police car and the whole crowd was cheering. I actually thought the movie I thought that was gonna be the end right there, like roll credits at that part. But you know, they gave you a couple more minutes after that. But I really like that. I like that end right there where they just kind of, because it was kind of full circle. You know, he actually kind of started the whole riot in there with, you know, when the dudes attacked him on the train and he shot him. So. And then like they recognized him in the car after they hit the police car, and they're like, "Wait a minute, hold up, there's a dude right here." And he gets up, and I think that was a pretty cool moment.
Okay, Oz, what about you?
I came to a lot of maybe we should get into the discussion of it. I came to a lot of really weird realizations, man, to that. So. Every time he's dancing, whether it's in his apartment or down the steps, the first thing he did when he starts his dancing, he does this weird, kind of hunchback contorting thing. And every time I saw that, I was like, oh, that's weird until he read his report that said that he was tied over a radiator for a long time. His mom didn't do anything about it while the boyfriend was. So that's all this stuff, like him not being reactionary to stuff was all from the childhood. And there was I had some problems with the movie, but there was a sense of me, just a sense of dread going, wait, is Thomas Wayne really the father? That would be weird. But all of it was done just to put you in the mindset of this madness, So the Joker's madness.
I appreciate you giving me one of your favorite scenes. So one of my one of my favorite scenes was
dude, was that not one of my favorite scenes, man?
Right? No, I get it. I got it. I just wanted to say thank you for that. One of my favorite scenes was, I know a lot of people didn't like this scene. I really liked his interaction with a young Bruce Wayne and Alfred.
Was that Alfred?
It had to be, right? It had to be.
Yeah, it had to be Alfred.
Here, I'm gonna say this. That's one of the problems I had, dude.
Hold on.
I will get into another problem, but I don't know if that was Alfred, because it just doesn't fit the bill of who that guy was.
It doesn't
fit the bill of who Alfred was.
No, I agree with that. I didn't think it was at first, but then he started talking and just kind of the way he was with Bruce. He kind of had that
I mean, yeah. Who else would that be?
Relationship. And I like the way he was interacting with Bruce Wayne. Like, I thought it was really creepy. I like the way he was kind of like, so you're the kid that's pretty much like taking my place. You know what I mean? Before he knew the truth. Like, I liked the way he kind of approached that. Like, I like that interaction.
I thought that was weird though. And I'm glad that wasn't the case, and his mom was just out there, because if they would have really went down that road with that, I thought that would have been very, very lame. So I'm just kind of glad they kind of did what they did with that, and him bumping into Bruce Wayne like that and kind of crossing paths, because they kind of did that how they did it with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton's, story where, okay, I caused you, you caused me kind of deal. So, the whole thing about the city being messed up, and then the people, being against the folks that actually had a lot of money, especially the Waynes, a lot of people hating them, and just kind of setting things off there. And, the whole reason that they got shot, according to this story, was this riot's going off, and then somebody recognized them that way instead of just a random robbery. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
And so I that part was cool, but yeah, I was just going, oh, I hope they don't do this. This is weird. But I just did not like that portrayal of Thomas Wayne. And I'm gonna tell you, there's no way that from the landscape that we've known, at least from the landscape that I've known of what Wayne Manor looks like and how to get there and stuff, there ain't no way he was going to have that interaction with Bruce Wayne like that. There's no way. And then again, man, they could have kept Thomas Wayne being cool and still have him being shot without him seeming like some kind of dickhead, He just came off as a dickhead to me, and I was like, man,
the only other time I've seen that kind of Thomas Wayne was in the Flashpoint Paradox kind of thing.
Yeah, dude, where you're like, oh, well, because look, dude, you see that Thomas Wayne and the Joker, you're like, is he Batman? Yeah, it was just like, dude. And what you don't get is, I get the billionaire part, but what you don't get is the sense of him being the Thomas Wayne that was a doctor, the Thomas Wayne that was a philanthropist, that kind of thing. It's just like, it's just so weird.
He's a kind of it was a different look, kind of more. He's definitely more gruff. He kind of felt like more of a old war veteran.
Well, but then the shit that he said, like, like, if you didn't make it, you're a clown. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kind of, just sounded like a.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, like it's straight up like, you didn't serve in World War II, dude. So yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind that as much. I thought it was kind of interesting that they had him in there.
I just didn't like his portrayal. I have a question for you, Miggs, and regular Scott too. What do you think happened with the girl and the mom?
So I actually have. I don't know how you did that right there, Oz. But I actually just I read an article earlier today about that exact thing, because my initial impression was that he killed her. But according to the film cinematographer Lawrence Thur, he's spoken during an interview with the film, revealing whether or not Sophie escaped, and he says that we wanted to make the interpretation of the real versus what's not real a part of the viewer's experience. For instance, his relationship to Sophie is a fantasy to him. Some people have asked, was she killed? Director Todd Phillips makes it clear she wasn't killed. Arthur is only killing people who have wronged him in a certain way, and Sophie never wronged him. So one of the things I wanted to kind of when that twist happened during the movie, I remember kind of thinking back like, okay, let me think back to all the scenes when like, could any of them have been real? And then it made sense why she gave him that look when they got off the elevator. And he did the little gun thing to his head, and she looked at him like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, that made sense after the kind of the reveal and stuff. Because I thought they did a real good job of her being, this vision in his mind the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, some of that, when they, I get that they, he was fantasizing stuff and he didn't do all that. She wasn't there with him and stuff like that. But it's kind of like when they show you that stuff in retrospect, it's just kind of like, all right, you're doing that for the sake of fooling us. Because that scene right there is like, why would he really, really be doing all that right there by himself just like that? Fantasizing's one thing.
Which scene, though?
Like, okay, so let's just say, even the hospital scene where his mom's in the bed there, and she's like, "Oh, you want coffee? This, that, and the third, and all that other stuff." Like he's talking and he's interacting like somebody's there, but nobody's really supposed to be there. Now I can understand something being in your head, but the whole physical interaction and stuff like that is just kind of like, all right, that's a bit much when you're looking at it in retrospect. Like, that you're really doing all that too, or is it just in your head? Because if it's just in your head, you're not like, if somebody's imaginary in my head, and let's just say I'm sitting at a park bench, right? And let's say you're sitting on the other side and you're just looking at me. Now, I could be sitting there and acting like I'm talking to somebody or having a conversation, and you might not even know it. But if I start doing all this hand gesturing and stuff, or like, let's say I'm acting like I got my arm around you and all that, that would be weird because there's nobody there. But that's what I'm saying. Is he really doing all that kind of stuff? Like, I mean, he went to her, that whole scene about him fantasizing going to her door. He didn't do that, right?
Right.
He didn't really.
That was all in his head.
He didn't really go to his door and kiss her, or even, that's what I'm saying, even the part where she comes back and knocks on the door and asks, was he following her? So she didn't really knock on the door. So he just went to the door, opened it, and just started talking to thin air.
No. I think that's one way to see it. But to me, what I saw was that was literally him playing that out in his head, not him like really playing it out in real time. But all that was him fantasizing. Even him in the hospital with his mom, that's just him in his head going, yeah, I'll take a coffee. But the real him was just still there being solemn and moping when in his head he was like, these are all these things happening. That's what I was getting at.
Well, see, that's what I was wondering. See, and that's what I wanted to know, because like I said, some of that stuff, there's like, was he picturing all that in his head and that's what they were showing us? Or was he doing that stuff like an imaginary friend kind of deal?
Well, and it's mixed too, because mixed to me, when you got a real taste of his relationship with the girl's name was Sophie, right?
Yes, Sophie.
So what you got to me, when you got a real taste of his relationship with Sophie, was when you get that little glimpse of him fucking masturbating before he got that call to get on the show. Everything else was just it was literally everything was in his head. And he was blurring the lines between head and not, So
like some of the ones that I think, like, to what Miggs is saying, that he actually did fully act out. Like, I could see him having a conversation with himself when he was walking away from his show, where he was envisioning her sitting down and stuff. Like, I could see him looking out in the crowd and
hoping she was there.
And hoping she was there, but then kind of projecting her there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I could see him doing that. Or even when he's walking down the street, I could see him projecting her beside him, because he never kind of made any mannerisms toward her while they were walking. When I
Oh
think
yeah,
back to
but I started smelling bullshit when she came to the door, and he was in his pajamas. I love that shot because the pajamas look so crazy and so vivid to me. And he was just and she said his name, and I was like, but you guys never introduced each other. You never introduced yourselves to each other in the elevator. So that was the slide. I was like, okay, I get you. You know?
Yeah, see, I didn't even catch on it. I thought it was just kind of weird how, like, when she came back and was talking to him, like, oh, were you stalking me? And then just, like, went all friendly and casual right into that. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, okay, I guess maybe she felt sorry for him. And it even kind of messed me up when you realized that he was fantasizing about this stuff. Because I was like, wait a minute, what?
See, I think he did do that. I think he did follow her.
Oh, yeah, no. I think he followed her, too. I'm just saying it threw me off when she came to the whole scene when she came to the door and she's like, were you following me? He's like, oh yeah. She's like, mm-hmm. And then she just got like real friendly with him. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that was weird. Like, well, she's a little too happy. Like,
yeah, and
this dude's a creep, man.
Oh, he's a freak, dude. And a lot of stuff was just, to me, was just like, man, this guy just wanted so much attention. He just wanted people to love him and so much attention from the neighbors, from the show, and every time he was getting his attention, he would fuck it up every time, Yeah. But man, I will also say that dude, that was some crazy shit to shoot that guy on air live. That was just so crazy.
That scene was very reminiscent of The Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, see, they pulled some stuff, from different stories. I mean, they got the whole comedian thing from The Killing Joke. You got the Dark Knight. You got the Dark Knight Returns thing with the talk show host and all that, and then just kind of, you see some different stuff from different stories. Because I was reading about some of the production. He didn't necessarily pull from one story or any major plot lines, and they injected some of their own stuff into the story. But like you said, that those scenes in particular were definitely from stories that we're familiar with.
The scene where he gets in the refrigerator after he empties it out was all improv. It was all his idea to do it, and they just were like, they were wondering what he was doing, and they just kept the camera rolling and stuck with it, and they ended up keeping it. Like, he did a really good job in the role as far as portraying the different emotions and like kind of like doing the laughter and still portraying this kind of like, I don't want to be laughing, but I just can't help myself. Like he did a really good job, man.
The descent into madness, dude.
Yes.
Yes.
The staircase scenes were so, like, they were very not next level, but they definitely kind of hit you on a different level when you put them in perspective with the movie and how the flow of the movie was going with each time he hit the staircase.
Yeah, now they got everybody going to them things like it's a tourist attraction. It's hilarious. Like, it's funny because those stairs are in the Bronx, and growing up, we weren't allowed to even go over there, especially at nighttime. No, them stairs. Nope, you don't go on them stairs. And now people over there, you see people over there taking pictures and they're dressing up like going over there. People are doing videos. It's crazy. I mean, those stairs scenes they're memorable. You kind of figured that from the trailer how they presented that anyway, even though the music was different. I thought that, it's funny. I thought if you go back and watch the trailer, I thought the music in the trailer, that classical music, I thought that would have fit that stair scene way better than the song that they had for that. The one song. Oh gosh, I can't even remember it now. The song they used for all the sports stuff, which they, did you see the complaints about that? I thought that was kind of interesting.
No, what were the complaints?
So the guy who wrote that song that they used is in jail for like either pedophilia or child pornography or something like that. It was one of those deals. Sick dude. and got pinched, so he's in jail. I think he's got maybe like 5 or 6 more years left or whatever. But because they use that movie or they use that song in the movie, you know, he still gets money from that, royalties and whatnot. So all these people were like, "Why'd y'all pick this song when you knew about this guy and this, that, and the third?" And I say, "Wow." I say, "I don't know if they really." I say, "I wonder if they actually did know or not," because I never knew that. I never knew that until I seen that about that. I mean, but I didn't even. To tell you the truth, I know that song because you hear it all the time with stuff. I didn't know who the artist was. It was just one of those songs that you just hear it and you know, but I didn't know who wrote the song or who the
Yeah, that's cool. We can do research because we have a $1 million budget. We can do research. And then, see, that makes me really suspect, dude, because Todd Phillips is the cat that wrote he directed Welcome to the Dollhouse back in the day. And that was a little wild little flick about, like, kids talking about rape and weird shit too, dude. So see, I that just brings my little conspiracy mind up to come on, dude. You could spend some money and do a little research and making sure and stuff, but maybe people didn't know the movie was going to blow up like it did too.
True that. All right, so let's kind of end with this. Where do you rank this Joker performance? Miggs, I'll start with you.
Rank it as far as with the other Jokers?
Yes. In comparison to all the other iconic.
Like all of them?
All of them.
Okay.
Including Adam West Joker.
And Mark Hamill.
I don't like, I mean, yeah, you know, I actually, you know what? I put a list out on my page there. Do I remember it off the top of my head? Yeah, I could probably tell it to you. So my number one is Mark Hamill, of course. There's no topping that. Even though he's just voicing it, but it's just the voice mixed with the animation is just classic. And then he was the Joker in Mask of the Phantasm, and that's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Batman movie. So he's always going to get that number one spot. I had Jack at 2. I think I had Lego Batman at 3. Who was 4? 4, I think 4 was the DC animated feature Jokers, like from the Dark Knight Returns, stuff like that. The one, just the Assault on Arkham Joker, it was pretty funny. 5, I think 5 was Heath, and then 6 was Phoenix, and then
I'll just list my favorites and my not so favorites. I still like Heath Ledger's Joker, which still was really good to me. Jared Leto's Joker is one of my least favorite Jokers for sure. And did you guys hear about like allegedly him petitioning or trying to like talk to the heads of whatever to try and get that Joker not to be able to be played?
Yeah, I don't know if that was true or not. I had seen some headlines, but I didn't read the articles. I know the guy was ticked off because of what happened in Suicide Squad, and apparently they cut a lot of his stuff, and the way they portrayed his Joker wasn't necessarily supposed to be the way that it was supposed to be portrayed. That kind of thing. And you know, because even with that movie, if you go back and if you look at the trailer for Suicide Squad, there's stuff in there with his Joker that wasn't in the movie. There's a scene where he's in the helicopter or whatever, and like half his face is all burnt up. Wow. They didn't show that in the movie. Like something happened to where that happened, and they cut it out. And there was some other stuff that they cut out too.
Is there an extended version of that movie, man?
No, there's an extended version on the Blu-ray, but that scene in there is still not in there. It was just something that was in the trailer that wasn't in the movie. It's just one of those things because I had seen that trailer so many times, I just caught on. It was, it's kind of like the whole, with Infinity War where they showed you Hulk running in the background, but that's not really what happened.
Right.
They cut that scene because Hulk wasn't in that part. he was in the Hulk Buster thing. So it's kind of one of those things.
Oh my god!
But the dude is a good actor, and I think he could have been a good Joker in a different movie with a different script.
Oh,
and
absolutely!
Not that Suicide
sure.
Squad Joker, because I don't know what that was.
Dude, Gold Front. I was like, not with it, dude.
I mean, yeah, it was just weird, Just like I said, the tattoos and the.
It's so over the top when you're supposed to portray the madness. You don't need to show me all the tattoos and you lined up in knives to make me think you're crazy, dude.
Well, see, I like the knives thing. I think that was kind of cool, but I didn't think I didn't think they wrote that Joker good. Like, since we were talking about it, I think that the Joker from the Dark Knight Returns movies, I think he would be great in that. Like, imagine him with not with the purple on, but like the white jacket and stuff like that with that look. I think he would. I think that would fit. I think he would play that Joker well.
Mm-hmm.
Like an older.
No, he's an awesome actor.
Yeah. Like if they did that kind of thing where they actually had where they went an older Batman that's coming out of retirement where he's an old man and they had that Joker too that kind of came back, I think Jared Leto would be a good fit for that, and I would love to see him do something like that.
Well, what they should have did, man, what would have been probably a nice compliment, in my personal opinion, is putting that Jared Leto Joker versus let's do him with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. I mean, but then that story. I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to see a Batman versus Joker again.
So, Oz, where do you rank Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
I'm gonna put him just because I'm old and crotchety. I'm putting him number 3. Number one is going to be Heath. Number 2, Jack Nicholson. Number 3, Joaquin.
Okay.
And actually, I still want to. Hey.
Well, it took a whole lot to get that.
Let's increase the. Regular Scott, let's increase the love, man. Let's increase the love right now.
Answer out first.
And I also want to put in Mark Hamill, and I'm done. Okay.
Because it took a lot to get the first ranking out, so I didn't know where you were about to go.
Hey, look, dude, that piece of coal is almost a diamond.
All right. I got Joaquin number 3.
Behind
who are your number 2 and number 1?
Number 1 is Heath. Number 2 is Mark Hamill.
You see, Mark Hamill always gets love.
Hamill.
I really enjoyed his portrayal. He's a Joker that I could watch. I could just constantly watch that movie because of him.
Regular Scott, Batman and Superman, World's Finest. He's awesome in that.
What?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, Mark Hamill. Yeah, absolutely.
Mark Hamill. That's a great Joker right there.
Yeah. No, and then I mean, like Jack Nicholson would be not Jack Nicholson would be number 4.
Did you guys catch in the first Suicide Squad animated where the Joker sees I forget what's his name, Black Spider or whatever his name is, and he thinks it's Batman. He goes, "Wait a minute, Denzel."
Calls him Denzel. Yeah, that was hilarious.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, you like that, Oz? You like that?
It was because it's the Joker. It was literally the Joker saying, "I do not care, dude. I'm just trying to hurt people, man. I'm trying to cause mayhem."
Yeah, that was a pretty funny joke for that movie. Actually, the Suicide Squad live action movie would have been great if they would have followed that Assault on Arkham storyline.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just don't. Gosh, that movie could have been so good,
but it was so bad. Yeah.
I mean, him, he was good, and whatchamacallit was good, even though they're not bringing him back. I guess they had scheduling conflicts because she's got her own movie, it's got a weird title, but she's going to be in that Suicide Squad movie too. But they got a whole gang of people in that thing now, man. I mean, John Cena's in that movie.
The Peacemaker.
What?
John Cena's the Peacemaker.
Yeah, they got so they put out a poster
Oh, wow.
that just had a whole bunch of the names on there, and I think that thing just had at least 20 names of just all the different actors that are going to be in there. But then James Gunn, he had put like don't get attached to anybody. So I guess this one's going to be more bloody and more violent, and a whole bunch of people aren't going to make it, as opposed to the first movie. You know, only a couple people didn't get out of there.
Dude, man, the Peacemaker, man. When I used to read those comics, that was some gory, crazy. I was like, who is this crazy dude with this weird helmet on his head?
John Cena's going to be great. He's going to be great.
Yeah. I think this one's actually going to be rated R. So
good. Let's go.
All right. Great discussion there. Let's get to our final blows. Miggs, as the guest, you can go first on your final blow. Again, plug anything you want to plug, and the floor is yours.
All right. I just want to shout out you guys over here at Take a Knee. I love the show. I love listening. You guys be having me cracking up. I learn stuff, and like I said, you guys, you teach me some things and especially on the DC side, because like I said, I'm not always up on my DC knowledge and things like that. I'm more of a Marvel geek, but like I said, I love listening to the show, so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate being on, and let me give a shout out to our host network and everybody at Defy Life. Appreciate y'all. We're doing real big things, and I want to salute everybody out there and everybody that supports Defy Life and all the different segments of it. You know, we got a lot of good things and a lot of good information coming out of there, and just, you know, we're having a good time and a lot of good people. So I appreciate being part of the family, being part of the network, and everybody listening. Check out Movies with Miggs on Facebook and on Instagram. Keep rocking with me, because as long as they putting out movies, I'm gonna do my thing. So yeah. I appreciate all the support from everybody, and I appreciate y'all over here at Take a Knee.
Oz,
that was dope. Hey, my final blow is this to make it real quick for once. I've been really.
Hey, look, how you gonna start your final blow off with a lie?
No, well, see, now, every time I want to make a real quick statement, I get egged on. Some might say it's like a little bit of intimidation, instigation, and now I'm just like, okay, so let me just say this real quickly. I've been enjoying the Watchmen series, #1 on HBO. It's been a nice ride, and I like where they're going. It was nice to see Don Johnson back in action there, and Regina Hill too, of course, always.
That's it. I know you got more.
No, man. I'm keeping it precise, son.
Okay. True that. Hey, look, Miggs. This dude wanted to tried to be short. He didn't even tell you thank you. What a rude host.
And I do have one more thing to say before I say thank you to Miggs. Regular Scott, hey, keep the emails coming. Regular Scott can't handle it. He's cracking under the pressure. I'm proud of him for not mentionally wrestling, but I know he will, just to spite me. And Miggs, as usual, thank you, man. It is good to have like a logical person to talk to on a show every once in a while. So thank you very much.
Oh, hey, shots fired. Hey, and to that I say, definitely check out Pro Wrestling Showdown with myself and JD.
Oh, dude, that hurt me, right?
I know.
Hey, Oz, I'm gonna hurt your feelings here, but we could have talked about some wrestling.
I know, man. Hey, I appreciate both of you guys.
hey, by the way,
we going to NXT. We going to NXT in Florida on Saturday.
Oh wow, that's awesome, dude! Really?
Well, my homeboy I grew up with is getting married, so we're going down there for that. But we're gonna be 20 minutes away from a show, and Gina just happened to catch it, so we was like, "Oh, we in there."
Oh yeah! Oh, that's awesome.
It worked out perfectly.
And listen, if there's ever, you guys ever need to know anything about NXT or kind of what's going on with there, just follow at Showdown Pro on Twitter, and myself and JD will keep you right on up to date. My final blow.
I like that. Shameless plug.
My final blow is shout out to again Miggs. Appreciate you being on, man. It's always a blast to talk with you.
Absolutely,
about the movies and stuff. You have a vast knowledge and history of movies, so it's always good to get your perspective and opinion on it. Appreciate you being on. Make sure you guys follow him on Facebook and on Instagram. He's always up to date. He's definitely changed my mind and made me go see a couple movies. Midsommar is one I always go back to because I was on the fence until I heard his review. It was exactly what I needed to hear, and he was right. You can ask Mr. Kingpin. Kingpin always follows movies with Mig, so make sure you guys check him out. I already plugged what I needed to plug. Next week, we will talk about Little Titans. We'll kind of catch back up with that, see what's going on there. And we'll see if Oz's buddies are going to send me another shots fired email. If so.
Hey, man, what number episode is this? What number episode is this, dude?
This is 52.
Can you give a little shout out to number 52 with Movie Mix, please, sir?
What?
Thank you.
Can you make it a little more exciting, saying this is our 52nd episode? 52 encircles a whole year, and we did a whole year with Movie Migs, man. Can you just bring it full circle, sir?
Okay. This guy, man. All right.
Thank you, Oz. I appreciate it.
No,
man. Thank you, Migs, man. This guy, dude, man. This guy here, if he ain't talking about wrestling, dude, he's a man. Talking about.
Oh man, y'all a trip, man.
Pro Wrestling Showdown with me and Pro Wrestling Showdown. Me and JD, we drop every Wednesday. Just tell everyone we'll talk to them next time.
As usual, everybody, peace and chicken grease.
And y'all have a good time. Make sure you check out Showdown at Showdown Pro because we're gonna have a good time at Pro Wrestling Showdown. So we'll talk to y'all next time. We'll take it E from Marvel's DC. Peace.
Thanks, y'all.
What you doing on a Sunday?
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.